Christopher Borgle's dream scenario's got a great hook. What if a man just started appearing in people's dreams? He doesn't really do anything at first, he's just there. But thousands and thousands of people have this man showing up. And eventually, people learn that this man is real. What would happen? And what if this person was played by Nicolas Cage? Now, I want to set expectations in check right from the get-go. This is not wild Nick Cage. None of the scenes in this movie will be making any compilations that you'll find online. This is the Nick Cage that, you've seen in stuff like Adaptation, maybe even The Weatherman, the Gore Verbinski film, playing kind of like the nerdy everyman. But the everyman, of course, in a film produced by Ari Aster, so he is also neurotic. He feels like a failure, even though he's a tenured professor, because he's never written a book. And when he starts appearing in everybody's dreams, maybe that kind of feeling of inferiority will change, right? Now that he's appearing in news broadcasts, and this is never explained in the movie. I mean, do you really want it explained? It's mostly a metaphor for what fame can do to someone. Or so it seems at first. The film has such a great premise. I just need to say it again. And Nick Cage is the perfect person to play in this movie. But the film also kind of keeps, never going as far as I wanted it to. This could have turned into like a Freddy Krueger type scenario. Never really does. It does have a very funny turn that is supposed to kind of represent how fame can turn against someone. And it does it through dreams, but while it goes into some dark places, it never really wrestles with any of these elements, at least in my opinion. All of the things that are being shown are done very well, from Cage's performance, from his family's performance, to the roles of the underused Tim Meadows as his friend, or Michael Cera as the agent that wants to hire Nick Cage so he can advertise Sprite in people's dreams. Like, all these concepts are kind of thrown out, but then they never really lead anywhere. So by the time the film was kind of wrapping up, there was a sense of like deflation that I had, where I was like, oh, that's it? We're not going to go to any kind of like wilder territories? There is the literalization of this being about cancellation, which kind of chilled me to my bone. The idea of like, oh no, is this going to be isn't cancellation bad, folks? And while there's definitely a reading of that, Nick Cage's character reaction in the movie is the thing that kind of gives the thrust of the end of the picture. Like, he does not react to this fame or the kind of consequences to it very well. And while it's technically not his fault, any of the stuff that people are reacting to, he is also perhaps taking it in maybe too much of a negative direction. So this is a fine, well-made film with a great idea, great performances, that just, for me, never went far enough. I wanted it to almost get to kind of like hallucination style heights, especially as we dug deeper into how far this premise could go, and it never really goes there. The dreams themselves that we see are fairly brief. Nick Cage is funny in them. I mean, the whole film is funny as well, including one of the best fart jokes of the year. I doubt any of them will be topped, but I just wish we dug deeper into either like the cancel culture thing or like what the limits of this are, whether it be fame or the idea that you are going into somebody's mind uninvited. And it just never really tackles those things.